What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Khamzat has taken a shot at Alex Pereira while discussing potential future opponents. During a recent appearance, Khamzat was asked whether he would rather fight Alex Pereira or Jon Jones. He made it clear that his focus is on Alex, claiming that he has been trying to secure that matchup for some time. According to Khamzat, Alex keeps avoiding the fight and wants no part of it. Khamzat joked that he is trying to catch him, but Alex runs faster than him and keeps slipping away. He added that it does not really matter who is placed in front of him. In his words, regardless of the opponent, the result is always the same, because he believes he smashes everybody. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman have shared their thoughts on a potential matchup between Alex Pereira and Khamzat, offering some strong opinions on how they see that fight playing out. Speaking on their podcast, Cejudo made it clear that he believes Khamzat would win the matchup. He said Khamzat beats him, and not just barely, but cleanly. According to Cejudo, stylistically this is a great fight for Khamzat right now, and not a matchup Alex would want to take. Usman pushed back slightly, asking him to explain, pointing out that similar doubts existed before Alex faced Magomed Ankalaev. Cejudo responded by saying that even in that first fight, Ankalaev did not fully commit to wrestling, and that most of the opponents Alex has faced have been stylistically favorable for him. Aside from Ankalaev, Cejudo believes the matchups have played into Alex's strengths. The conversation then shifted to Alex's size, with rumors circulating that he walks around at nearly 230 pounds. Cejudo suggested that if Alex has truly outgrown the division, it might explain the talk of moving up. However, he also added that Khamzat should focus on clearing out his own division first before jumping up and challenging Alex. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje has shut down what he calls fake news following UFC 324. After the event, reports surfaced about an interaction between Dustin Poirier and Josh Thompson, where Dustin suggested he would be open to returning for a fight with Justin. Soon after, it was claimed that Justin had responded to those comments. In an interview reported by Bloody Elbow, Justin was quoted as saying that if the UFC proposed the fight, he would accept it, but it was not something he was fully interested in. He reportedly added that Dustin is a warrior he will always respect, and that if Dustin truly wanted to come back and the UFC wanted the matchup, he would do it. However, the focus was said to be on moving forward, not backward, with personal goals still being chased. Everything appeared calm until Justin publicly pushed back. The Account Championship Rounds shared the quote on X, and Justin quickly replied, saying he never said it and calling it 100% fake news. That reaction caused confusion, since Bloody Elbow called it an exclusive interview, pointing to a possible miscommunication behind the scenes here. Moving on to another news, Ian Garry is catching heat after taking shots at Shavkat Rakhmonov following a surprising update in the UFC welterweight rankings. The situation started after recent reports suggested that Shavkat could be sidelined for close to a year due to a knee injury. Not long after that, the UFC released an updated set of rankings, and fans quickly noticed that Shavkat was no longer ranked at welterweight. This immediately caused backlash, especially since his expected time away is under a year. Many people also pointed out that Colby Covington remains ranked despite not competing in over 1,400 days. There may be more to the story, though. According to John Morgan, alongside the rankings update, Shavkat was also removed from the eligible testing pool despite being listed there just a week earlier. That detail led many to believe the UFC had a specific reason for pulling him from the rankings. This is where Ian Garry stepped into the spotlight. After the news broke, he took to X and fired a shot at Shavkat, writing that Shavkat was eliminated at their title eliminator. Later the same day, Ian reposted a video on Instagram showing an oblique kick landing on Shavkat's knee, with a caption claiming that Ian destroyed Shavkat's career. That post instantly rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way, especially considering the respectful and friendly tone Ian had shown towards Shavkat since their fight. Fans were quick to point out that Ian had consistently praised Shavkat in the past. Even during the walkouts for Garry versus Bilal back in November, Ian went out of his way to interact with Shavkat cageaside. Because of that history, many felt that taking credit for an injury crossed a line. Social media reactions were brutal, with fans calling the comments disrespectful, hypocritical, and unnecessary. Several people said celebrating a potential career-altering injury was one of the lowest things a fighter could do. That said, some fans noted that Shavkat may have sparked lingering tension himself. Just days after the Gary vs. Bilal fight, Shavkat posted a message saying Ian lost to him while injured, questioned his finishing ability, and dismissed him as a true #1 contender. Even so, many believe that regardless of past trash talk, joking about or celebrating injuries takes things way too far. Moving on to another news, Nick Diaz has opened up about his future and believes a world title is still within reach. The former UFC title contender has endured a difficult few years and has not competed since 2021, but he says the long break has not killed his ambition. During an interview at the Baja Rehab Center, Diaz said he sees himself becoming a world champion again and believes the opportunity is easy money. He explained that this version of himself is different from the past. Diaz added that he would not have made it this far in life or in the sport if he truly believed something could stop him. Whether it is an opponent standing across from him or personal struggles from the past, he remains confident and focused on improving every year and every day with discipline, patience, and total belief. Moving on to another news, John Silva has revealed that his relationship with Mauricio Ruffi is officially over. In a recent interview, Silva explained that the two are no longer friends and that something serious happened between them behind the scenes. While he chose not to go into specific details, Silva strongly hinted that the issue runs deep and is personal. He made it clear that he does not want to expose anything publicly, but he believes there is something fundamentally wrong that needs to be addressed. Silva said he wants distance from Ruffi and hopes Ruffi feels the same way. He added that if Ruffi claims he still loves him, that is fine, and he hopes those feelings are genuine. However, Silva emphasized that whatever they had is completely over. Despite the fallout, Silva wished Ruffi nothing but success, praising his star potential and talent. He also encouraged Ruffi to seek professional help, sharing that he personally sees a psychiatrist every week. Silva ended by saying Gene and Ruffi no longer exist as a duo, and that bond only lived in his head. Moving on to another news, Michael Morales has sent a clear message to Islam Makhachev as the debate over the next welterweight title shot continues to heat up. Morales has become a controversial name among fans, with many pushing him into the title picture alongside Ian Gary, Carlos Praetis, and before his re-injury, Shavkat Rakhmonov. The discussion has only grown louder, with Kamaru Usman suddenly being mentioned again, despite having just one win since his loss to Khamzat back in 2023. Morales recently spoke about a backstage encounter with Islam at UFC 322, where he shared his honest assessment of Islam's size after seeing him in person. According to Morales, Islam looked smaller than expected, comparing him to the size of Sean Brady, whom Morales had just finished by first-round TKO at the same event. Morales said Islam was almost the same size as Brady, and that the difference was noticeable. He added that while Islam did appear smaller, he also looked more muscular since moving up to welterweight, and warned that overconfidence would be a mistake. Morales explained that Islam's size could be both an advantage and a disadvantage. He acknowledged that Islam might be quicker, especially when it comes to shooting takedowns and attacking the legs. Morales admitted that speed could favor Islam in certain exchanges, but he also emphasized his own ability to deal with wrestlers. He said that when facing grapplers, he focuses on keeping his hips back, controlling distance, and maintaining good positioning to limit takedown opportunities. Morales also pointed out the clear differences in height and reach, suggesting those physical advantages could play a major role if the fight stays on the feet. According to Morales, controlling range would be key, and if he can dictate where the fight takes place, Islam's size could work against him. The comments immediately sparked conversation about how a potential matchup would play out stylistically, adding another layer to the discussion. Jorge Masvidal recently shared his thoughts on what a win over Islam would mean for Ilya. Masvidal said that if Ilya were to move up to welterweight and defeat Islam, it would put him on an entirely different level. He described it as an uphill battle, but insisted that pulling it off would place Ilya in his own category of greatness. Masvidal went on to say that ending elite champions in their prime and then beating Islam at 170 would make Ilya a mythological figure in the sport. In his view, an achievement like that would force everyone to acknowledge Ilya as something truly special, regardless of personal opinions. Moving on to another news, Lerone Murphy is keeping expectations realistic ahead of his highly anticipated matchup with Movsar Evloev. While many fans see the fight as a clear #1 contender bout, Murphy has made it clear that nothing is official just yet. He explained that in the UFC, talk does not guarantee anything, and everything ultimately comes down to performance inside the cage. According to Murphy, someone has to go out there and truly prove they deserve the next title shot. Murphy said that earning a championship opportunity does not necessarily mean scoring a flashy knockout or viral finish. Instead, the win simply has to be undeniable. He believes the matchmakers understand the magnitude of this fight and the level of competition involved, which is why the performance itself should speak louder than any pre-fight labeling. When breaking down the matchup, Murphy praised Evloev as an elite fighter and one of the toughest challenges in the division. He described the bout as a classic striker versus wrestler matchup, even though both men are well-rounded. Murphy acknowledged Evloev's wrestling pedigree, but emphasized that he plans to mix strong defensive wrestling with constant forward pressure. His goal is to push Evloev to the limit, force mistakes, and apply relentless offense from start to finish while actively hunting for the knockout. Stylistically, Murphy believes his striking and pressure can create problems, especially if he can control the pace and deny prolonged grappling exchanges. He made it clear that he expects a hard fight from bell to bell and is fully prepared for every phase of the contest. Murphy also shared his thoughts on the featherweight title picture, including Alex Volkanovski's rematch with Diego Lopes. He said he was not surprised by how that fight played out and suggested that Father Time eventually catches up to everyone. Murphy added that he believes he could have been the one to beat Alex, stating that he would have approached the matchup differently and with a specific game plan to exploit those moments. Addressing whether a title shot has been promised, Murphy said nothing is concrete. Balance. He described the UFC as a performance-based company where divisions are always changing. While he hopes the winner of his fight with Evloev will be next in line, he understands that only a strong and decisive showing will truly lock it in. In Murphy's view, the winner should be undeniably next for the title, and the fight itself will determine that.